Christianity has become one of the largest religions in the world, with about 2 billion followers. But how did we get here? Christianity comes from Jewish traditions. The Jewish tradition started in about 3761 BC. It is referenced as the first century within the Torah, Torah being one of the 3 books contained within the Jewish Bible. The Jewish tradition has one true God and is based around Israel and Jerusalem being the holy city and capital, with Moses bringing the word of God to the people. Unlike Christianity, Judaism has no centralized controller and is instead filled with smaller teachers called rabbis. A want for centralized control is what created Christianity, along with the belief that Jesus is the second coming of God, an event which is predicted by the Hebrew Bible. The current biggest branches of Christianity didn't come into existence until about the 11th century, but we're getting too far ahead, so let's go back to Jesus. Jesus' followers created a series of texts which the Christians called the New Testament. Christianity became the religion of the Roman Empire. As the Roman Empire became the largest empire in Europe, it spread Christianity throughout. Though Jesus as a figure ended up becoming problematic for the Christians, as it wasn't clear if he was the embodiment of God or a human doing the work of God. 2 councils were held to debate this issue. The main Christian path believed that Christ was the embodiment of God, while the Assyrian Church and the Oriental Orthodox didn't believe Christ to be God or the Holy Trinity, a concept which was created in the First Council, where God is 3 things, being God, Christ, and the Holy Spirit. This was not the end for these splits in Christianity. Now we come back to the main denominations, where they started in about 1050 AD, where the Eastern Orthodox Patriarch was excommunicated. This ended up creating the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches. The excommunication of the 2 faiths lasted until about 1965. This split is known as the Great Schism. This splitting is a very common theme for Christianity, however. Both are distinct sects of Christianity, but I'll focus more on Roman Catholic as it's more important to the story of North America, and Eastern Orthodox's story is more important to the war in Ukraine and the history of the East. One more thing to talk about before North America is the creation of Islamic beliefs. They were created by the Prophet Muhammad in 570 AD. They end up incorporating some of the holy figures from Christianity into their religion as prophets. This is important because Islam spread not only to the East and Asia, but also to Africa, and this theme of religious purity will become important for North America. As the Protestant Revolution was happening in the 16th century in Europe, Europe was starting to colonize North America. The Protestant Revolution was based on Martin Luther's book of 95 Reasons Why the Catholic Church was corrupt. Christianity started to spread through North America as Europe began its colonization of North America. Though the spread might be misleading, as it was forced onto the indigenous populations and also the slaves coming from Africa. But African slaves already knew of Christian prophets, as many had a flavor of Muslim belief mixed in with the traditional religion, as Islam had spread to Africa in 650 AD, and Christianity had spread through the Roman Empire into Africa as well. So as the Europeans spread more throughout North America, so did Christianity and Islam. This is reflected in many of the laws based on the Catholic Church's teachings, and the amount of Christian churches in North America. And once again, the church and the government started to move on having religious purity, and created residential schools in North America as a way to strip the culture and religion from the First Nations people. This mindset is the same that was used to produce fear of the Muslims, which came to a height in 9/11 and has been wreaking havoc in America for years. In modern years, there's been a new wave of Christians popping up, with many churches like the Evangelicals coming and bringing in religion to the New Age. So as you can see, Christianity has, in some way, touched most of the world, and had an impact on nations throughout history.